we have discussed about the different levels, DOM 0, DOM 1. So what are the different events that can be triggered? So events are nothing but the actions, and also the document object, and we have discussed about what differences between a window object and a document object. So DOM is basically an internal model which is loaded when the HTML page is loaded in your browser. Okay, and using this particular document object model, we will be able to navigate through the different elements of our page. So for this DOM, we have discussed like HTML is the root. So from the root, which is also called as a parent, we have multiple branches, like you have head, inside the head you have title. So you have siblings, like siblings are nothing but for example in real terminology we call siblings means like brothers and sisters who are like peers. So here also siblings means the elements which are equally have the equal weightage, equal importance. Like in a branch, if you see head, inside the head there is a title, so title will be the child of the head element. Whereas if you take any div class, some div element or a paragraph element or a span element, in that case all the three elements which are present inside the parent body, like which is the immediate parent of these elements, these are called as a siblings. So before discussing in detail about the DOM traversals, how do you actually navigate through different elements in your DOM tree structure, let us discuss few previous topics. So here you can see, right, navigate.html. So before that, okay, so this is the navigator object. As we have discussed like a window, a document object, we have another object called as navigator object. So with the help of this navigator, we will be able to achieve few things, like we can try to retrieve the app name property of the browser, which is nothing but the name of the browser. So for example, you are currently running your program in your Firefox or Chrome. In that case, if you want to know like in which browser you want to you are actually currently executing your program, with the help of the app name property, you can be able to know that. And also using the app version, you'll be able to retrieve the version, like what is it now. If it's version 14 of Chrome, you can get the latest version. So these are basically helpful when you are actually trying to make some, if you have multiple devices on which your application has to be tested. For example, you are running your application on a desktop, okay, which is of users. So in order to identify and rectify those bugs, you need to know the actual app name or a version. Accordingly, you can observe the behavior of your app in different browsers. So this is an example. Actually, when you try to get the app name and app version, this will like JavaScript application will throw an alert like the browser is Netscape, like whatever browser you are trying to execute, and the version number is 5.0 and operating system Windows. So this is a very simple object. With the help of this object not only has the app name and app version, we have several other properties as well. Please refer through them as well. And we have this DOM tree traversal and modification. So this is our next concept and very important concept, where we can understand like how you can navigate through different portions of your web page and apply different logics. Okay, so every element in its HTML page is modeled in the web browser by a DOM node. Okay, DOM node is nothing but a portion element of your tree structure. So all the nodes in a document make up the DOM tree. So what is this means? This DOM tree is nothing but the combination of all the different nodes. So which describes a relationship among elements. So relationships are nothing but, as I discussed, you have a HTML as a root, which is a parent of all the elements like head, title, paragraph, div, span, whatever tags that are present inside the web page. So as well as nodes are related to each other through a child parent relationship. For example, if you have a div element, inside the div we have seen the nested elements in our previous classes, right? So if you have a paragraph element inside a div, then P becomes the child and div becomes your parent. An XHTML element inside another element is said to be a child of the containing element. This is what we discussed. So the containing element is known as a parent. Whatever it contains is a parent, and a node may have a multiple children but only one parent. So node may have multiple children. Whatever the parent node or a child node, a parent node will have a multiple children. There is a probability of having a from one children to multiple children. Okay, and nodes with the same parent node are referred to as siblings. So this is what we discussed, like siblings, nodes with the same parent node. So if div, some paragraph and span are present within the same parent element, okay, then in that case the paragraph and the span elements, we call them as a siblings, which has a common parent. Each element in XHTML document has a corresponding element object in the DOM representation. So whenever your HTML is loaded into your browser, so we call them as an elements, right? So each element in the DOM representation. So again the same, the tags are represented in the form of a tree. Okay, the element object has the methods to support. So this particular element object, okay, we have seen some methods like document dot get element by id, right? There you can observe the element. So this element object, it helps us to do some manipulations like traversing the document, nothing but moving from one place to another place, that is visiting each of the document nodes, modifying the document, for example removing and inserting child nodes. So with the help of this document dot get element by id, you can able to retrieve your id, and then on top of the id you can apply some styles. Okay, you can remove the existing elements, you can insert more child elements like document dot create element of p means it will create a new element to your DOM tree structure. So there are certain things using which we can remove and insert standard. Everything in a document is a node. So what is a node? Again, it's repeating like every element, everything in a HTML document we call it as a node, like a parent node or a child node. Okay, the entire document is a document node, and every HTML element, p or div or span, anything is a element node, and the text inside the HTML elements are the text nodes. uh, this is what you have, a paragraph which is a node in a with respect to DOM, and if you have some text like hello all, so the text inside this particular element is nothing but your text nodes. Every HTML attribute is an attribute node. You are well aware of the attributes, right? You have a class, so this is called as an attribute. So class is your attribute, or a href is your attribute, image src is your attribute, like that. We call it as an attribute node. And all comments are comment nodes. Okay. You are well aware of the comments, right? How do we use the comments? This way. Sorry, this way. So here the parent node references the parent node of the element, like a div inside a div which is the parent of a p tag. So div is the parent node which references the parent node. We call it as a parent node. Okay, previous sibling and next sibling connect the children of a node into a list. So using this previous sibling and next sibling, we are actually trying to get the element of the like a parent node has these two children, right? Using this previous sibling, you can try to go back and get the element, previous element. Next sibling means you move forward and get the next sibling. So first child and last child reference children of an element. So these would be the text nodes or the element nodes contained in the element. Okay, it can either be a text node, the text inside the element, or the element node like a p, as we seen in the previous page, contained in the element. So these are the different methods by which we can modify our DOM. The insert before method inserts a new child of a target node. For example, you have some p tag. So before the p tag, you want to insert some span tag. Using this method, you can insert a new tag. Like in arrays, you insert the elements, right? The similar way for the DOM, you can insert before You can replace child, you can remove child, you can append child. So let us see some examples here. So this example, what it talks about. So let us see the code here. So in this example, I'm actually trying to get all the child nodes of the body. Okay. So how many child nodes are there? Generally, you can remember the DOM structure, right? HTML inside head, title, and all, right? So inside my body, how many child nodes are there? I want to get it using some logic. So here is a logic using document dot. So script, this is an internal script. So you are writing within your like page itself. Okay. Document dot body dot child nodes. So using this, I'm trying to get the child nodes in, and I'm iterating through the different nodes based on the length, and I'm trying to show here. See here. So my page has comment. This is nothing but your text node, button. So these are the different tags or elements that are present in my page. That is my body. Okay. So inside my body, I have a comment node. So this is a comment node. So that is the reason we got the output there. And next I have a button, I have a P, I have some text node, I have again P. So all these different tags dynamically I'm trying to go inside this DOM and get it printed here. So that is the output you have seen earlier. Okay. Before method. So I have two list elements, coffee and tea. So using this insert before, I want to add one more element. Okay. So using insert before, I am able to get this water element, water li. Okay. Let us see the code here. Okay. Inside my script, which is present inside my body. Okay. I have written a function document dot create element. Okay, create document dot create element creates an li element dynamically. Okay, and document dot create text node is nothing but my content that has to be present inside the li. Okay, water. So now I'm trying to use the method called append child. So this is a method which we have seen. So append child of text node is nothing but water to li element. Okay, so document.get element by id of my list. Where is my list? Here is my list. So inside this my list, I want to insert an li element which I have created here, and the text node is water. I want to insert it in this respective position. Okay. First I have appended this and I have created an li with water element. Now what I'll do is like what is the exact location I want to add? ID, and using this insert before new item. What is my new item? Li tag. Inside it we have a water comma list dot. Okay, this element, whatever ID I have taken, dot child nodes of 0. So at the 0th position, child nodes of 0, at the 0th position I am trying to insert the water. Okay. So this example clearly explains about how do you dynamically create an element. Okay, first step, dynamically creating an element using document dot create element. So earlier what you did, you have statically created an element like this in your HTML, right? So in your real-time projects, you need to actually, based on the requirement, you have to dynamically add the tags to your web page without touching the HTML. So in that case, you can do it with the help of this document.create element of li. and now you have created a text node what has to be placed inside the element, and you have appended it. So that is the first step. Second step, where exactly you want to place it. So insert before of whatever id, whatever element you want, you are trying to get the id. You can also use document.getElement by class name also. Okay, you have, if you have a class instead of an id, so at that particular location you are trying to insert before. Place, you can try using replace child or remove child accordingly and see the output. Topic. So till now you have seen like you can traverse to the different elements. You can append child, you can remove and all. So now that you are able to traverse, uh, we will understand what can we do on top of traversing. Like if you want to change the style of the existing element, how can you change it? Like we can move the elements, we can change the visibility, like we can display none, display block, and visibility hidden. Okay, this kind of different properties we can observe. So using the DOM, JavaScript can change the document in which it is embedded. So till now we have seen a static HTML, and using the JavaScript now you are able to manipulate your web page. Like you can add additional properties and change the existing web page. So, in our, if you can remember, in our previous classes, when we are actually understanding about the different CSS attributes and all, we have seen a box model, right? We have, uh, so besides that, we have few properties in CSS which are very important while you design a web page. That is called as an element positioning. Okay, using this element positioning, you can right, bottom, and left. Okay, the position property specifies the position mode. Actually, in positions, we have four modes: static, fixed, absolute, and relative. So let us understand what each means. Okay. So before that, for each, like for relative and absolute, we have a properties called left and top. Okay. Like margin and padding, we have a left, top, right, bottom, and left. We have left and top properties specify the element position. So positive value of the top pushes the element down. So if you give a top 10 pixels, it means like the element will move from top to bottom. Okay. That should be a positive value. It's not like -10, it should be +10. So a positive value of left pushes the element to the right. Okay. From left to right, it will move. A negative value, we will get more clarity here. So absolute position specifies where an element appears relative to the containing element. Containing element, for example, you understand containing element is your browser. So if you have an element called div tag and it has position absolute, okay? In that case, how the element behaves, we'll see with the help of an example. Positions in CSS, static, fixed, absolute, and relative, okay? Any order. So let us understand each position step by step. So for each position like absolute and relative, you will have a top, left, okay, right as well. Now I have some class called ABS text, and for that class and for that element I have given a position absolute. On the right hand side, if you can observe, apples are good for you. So this particular text has the position absolute. So what is the, so here you can see, right, absolute, top and left you have, and you have another text called apple is common name for any tree of the genus. So this is a normal regular text. Okay, for that we don't have any absolute property. Okay, given position absolute, how did it adjust here? So this is your normal regular text. Okay. With respect to this text, apple is common name for any tree. With respect to this text, the particular absolute text has placed itself. Okay. What is the top position? 25. From the top, like it is taking with respect to this div and top 25 pixels. Okay, try to increase it to 30. You can see that particular element is moving down, right? So this is nothing but when you are doing your top value which we are discussing. Similarly, left also, if you try to decrease it, it will move to the left. If you try to increase it, it will move to the right. So these are about the top and left positive values, and absolute, it behaves with respect to the whatever element it has. With respect to that element, it will behave. Okay. You have seen two paragraphs. Okay. And in one paragraph you have a regular text inside the body you have two paragraphs. Inside the body you have two different paragraphs. One is your regular text and this is your absolute text. Okay. As it is absolute, it is behaving like this. Okay. So in another example which I'm going to share now, you can see like one inside this particular element only another element is nested. In that case, how the absolute position behaves, we will see. So this is your whole division div. Okay. This particular regex text has the position absolute here. Okay. And it has top 100 and left 100 pixels. So what happens with respect to the browser? So this is your browser screen, right? With respect to your browser, if this particular element is given position absolute, from here it will take 100 pixels left, from top it will take 100 pixels bottom it will move. See the difference? So with respect to the parent container, okay, this particular element which has the absolute position will move accordingly with respect to the parent container. Okay. So inside this div, now you have a span. Okay. Span is how it will behave for this span. This is your parent. Okay. Apple is a common name is your parent. So with respect to this apple text, it will move. Okay. As it is inside. If it is outside your element, it will behave with respect to the parent, the outer parent, which is your browser. Okay. So you can try out different examples. I will share these examples with you and try to do some nested elements, try to provide position absolute to the nested element as well as parent. See how it will behave as in this case. Okay, this is the nested element. For this is a, we have position absolute, and this the parent will be the window. So it is moving from the relative to the parent. In this case, it is the nested element and it will move, which has a position absolute, and it will move according to its parent, which is the div. Okay. Positioning. In the static position mode, the default, the name itself tells like it is a default mode, static. Okay. In static position mode, the default elements are placed left to right, top to bottom. Okay. Static position means generally you take one book. So how do you write starting in that book? How do you start writing in that book? Like you'll start from left to right. Okay. And you'll start from top to bottom. These are ignored for the static position. For static position, as it follows the regular way, there is no influence of the top or left properties. Okay. And relative position mode allows changing position relative to where the element would be with static positioning. Static positioning is nothing but the regular flow. You can understand it as a regular flow. So within the regular flow, like for example, you are walking from top to bottom, okay, that is a regular flow. With respect to the regular flow, this particular relative position will act in absolute. How did you see with respect to the parent, like it is not like it always relates itself to the main parent, okay. Here let us see how this behaves. With respect to the regular flow, it will behave. This could be used to create superscripts or subscripts by moving the text up or down relative to its normal position. So within the normal position only, using this relative, you can move the text up and down, but not like in absolute you have seen some text coming over another text. Okay, in the relative position, it will not like pattern. It will not sit on another element. It will follow. So let us see the example. You will understand it. Called apples are good for you. For good is present inside a span, okay, which has position relative top 10 and uh, some properties, okay, font size, font style, color and all. So in this case, what happened? This good is not sitting over the apples are for good, like some text on over. It's not like over some text. It is following the regular order, like from left to right. It is following the normal position, but it is getting highlighted in the regular position only. Like you have given relative, you have given some top value. So if you change the top value, bottom value, it will move. But make sure like it will always be in a normal flow, but it will not sit over the other element, okay. It is moving relative to its parent. Apples are good, okay. I mean, using the top and left you can move it accordingly, but generally it will follow the regular flow. That the position mode has to be relative or absolute for this to work, okay. So for position prop for the JavaScript code, to move the elements from top and left, we have to ensure like with respect to CSS we should have either relative or absolute, then only you can apply left or top or right or bottom, okay. Otherwise if it's not position is static, you cannot apply the particular properties. Left and top will apply only when it is either relative or absolute only. In general flow like static, it will not be applied. An example, mover.html illustrates dynamically placing elements. So we will see an example here. Actually, I'm trying to move the element based on the x coordinate and y coordinate. Okay. I have some picture image. Okay. So I want to move this image based on the x coordinate and y coordinate. So I'm giving the values here. Okay. And move it. So this particular image is moving with respect to this window. So here what I did is I have taken a form. So x coordinate, I'm trying to get, this is the input type is equal to text and the size is 3. So I can enter maximum up to 3, not max length actually. I can enter up to 3. So what max length property will do is like it will restrict, and I have two input text boxes. I have an input type is equal to button. So move it is my method. Okay. On click, I am trying to attach an event here. Move it is a custom method which I have created. Okay. And you can observe like there is a position absolute for this. An important consideration here for element which has position either absolute or relative. We can have a JavaScript movement with the help of this functionality here. So I have taken the top coordinate and left coordinate. Like I am passing these particular IDs of the input text boxes. Within the particular method, I am taking the new top, new left, which is nothing but the, you have passed here, right? Nebula, the image ID, okay, which is the this one, okay. And the new top is nothing but the get element by id of top coordinate dot value. Whatever we have entered inside the input for the x coordinate, that value I am passing here, okay, new top. And similarly, the next input tag for y coordinate I have passed here. So what I did, I taken the nebula dot style into DOM, okay, and this new top plus pixels. So pixels, it's useful when we are trying to add some length or some property, okay. New property, whatever we enter 12 pixels it will take, and it will append DOM dot. The top will be the new top property, and left DOM dot left will be the new property. So using this logic we can move the particular image according to the values given inside the text box. So element visibility. So this example talks about the element visibility, how you can manipulate on the visibility property like hiding and showing. And the JavaScript code access the style node for the image element. So let us see the example for this. So here you can see the example. So I'm actually clicking on this button. When I click on this, the image is getting disappeared, and again I'm clicking toggling is nothing but shifting from one like show and hide kind of things, okay. So you have a default visibility visible, okay. On click you are trying to flip the image. So what is your flip? I'll show you the JS. So this particular function, flip image, it is considering the ID of the image, and when DOM dot visibility, we have given a default visibility as visibility visible, okay. This is a property which we can give visibility visible. When I go to the JS, you can see if we are making a comparison here, DOM dot that ID we have taken, style we have taken, right? DOM dot visibility is equal to visible, then DOM dot visibility, when you actually toggle it, when you click on it, flip on it, okay, else show it. So this is a way you can do it. Fonts as well. Just quickly we'll go through the examples. So here you can see the example here. So we are actually trying to give the color, background color dynamically. Okay. On blur event, we are just trying to change the color. Okay. So this we can do it dynamically. So you have two input text boxes, that all you can see, right? So the uh, foreground color and the background color, if it's a background, then I'm trying to change the style. Document.body.style.background color is equal to new color. Whatever I'm like typing in my input box, right? I'm passing that value here and I'm using it. Okay. See, on change, I'm using the method called on change. Because of this method, I'm able to pass the particular, because of this method only, you are passing the set color here, your background. Okay. This is your foreground color. This is your name. You are passing the name and this dot value. This is nothing but similar to your JavaScript. This refers to this. This refers to that particular element. So on change is triggered here, like on click you have on change. So immediately when you change the text in your input box, on change, those values are passed here and the particular action has been done. I will share with you. You can refer to the examples and go through, which will be similar only. And dynamic content, the document content can be changed. So you have content which can be changed. How you are changing the content. Okay. So we have seen the events, right? On mouse over, on mouse out. Okay. So here on mouse over, messages of 0. Okay. On mouse out, messages of 4. So what happens here? Let us see the JS and understand here. So messages of 0, advice number 0. Okay. Well, I'll better run it and show it to you. Mouse over on name. Your name must be in the form first name, middle name, last name. And I'm hovering on the email. It is displaying the email information. I'm hovering on user ID. So when I'm actually hovering on mouse using this particular methods, like we have discussed, right? On mouse over, on mouse out. Okay. On mouse over, it is showing the respect information. On mouse out, what happens on mouse out, for whatever it is on mouse out is same. Okay. This box provides advice on filling out the form on this page. Put the mouse cursor over any input field to get the advice. So when I'm keeping on a respective input field, it is showing the respective information. Also, how did we achieve this? Let us just go back to our editor object. I have an array called helpers. Okay. I have information. I have like 4 messages. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay. So what I did, messages of advice number. So when I have input type is equal to text for username. For username on mouse over, what is the information I have to display? Array of 0. This 0 I have to, 0 information is about the name. So if I pass 0, it will relate to this particular 0, and based on this functionality, like on advice box, I have is equal to helpers of advice number 0. Array of 0 means this one. So accordingly all the information is displayed. Some importance given to certain elements, like it has to placed before and some elements has to be placed after. To it's like a kind of layering you do. You want first element to be on a top layer, like for example you have some biscuits in your box. You want some biscuits to be on the top, some in the middle and some in the bottom. You are trying to layer, right? So the Z index style property can be used to govern the layering of elements in the display. If two elements both cover a part of a window, the element with higher Z index value will cover the other one. So you have two elements, two images. If you want one image to be placed on other image, like one image you want to show it before other image, then in that case if both has a Z index property or a value, whatever the Z index is more, it will be shown before. Okay, the lower Z index will be after. So let us see the example called stacking.html, that is displayed in the front. Okay, this one, this image has the higher Z index. Okay, see, when I tried to change the Z index value, the image automatically got some, see, like I have made 2000 to this. Okay, I have made 1000 to this, so this will go back and image with higher Z index will come before. Okay, so this is a simple example which you can see. Try working on Z indexes. Why? So this gives the mouse position relative to the upper left hand corner of the screen. So this gives the mouse position with respect to the upper left hand corner. So let us see the example here. Like for example, you have top 10 pixels and left has 20 pixels. If this is your browser window, it starts left 20 pixels. So that will be the client text and client web property of the element. Like for image, you have given top 10 and right some left as 20. With respect to browser window, it will change. Whereas screen X and screen Y gives the mouse position relative to. So wherever you actually try to use your mouse, click on the mouse, then the position will be actually retrieved. Okay. When I'm clicking on a certain areas, let's see, like this is your X and Y coordinate with respect to the mouse, but wherever your window is there, so this is related to the origin of the screen coordinate system. See, right, you have within the client area we have two input boxes, and relative to the origin of the screen coordinate system we have two more IDs. Okay, so you have triggered an event called find it. For body on click, you are giving for body on click this particular event. So when you are trying to click on the page, client X, this is client Y, this is screen X, and this is screen Y. So here you can see, right? So these are the different events. So this particular JS shows the coordinates of the mouse cursor position in an image and anywhere on the screen when the mouse is clicked. And the event handler function to get and display the coordinates of the cursor both in an element and on the screen. So when you are actually trying to, this is actually trying to get the mouse cursor position. When you do it client X and client Y, it will take relative to the browser window. When you do it screen X and screen Y, it takes accordingly. Okay. So what it means is like when you actually try something happens on mouse down, some events happen. So like the position and the visibility of an element are manipulated. So we'll see the example here how a mouse events basically do. Clicking on this, you can see a text, right? Please don't click here. Please don't click here. So on up it is disappearing, on mouse down event. Like I'm clicking is nothing but mouse down event. It is showing some text. So on mouse down I am using display. On mouse up I am doing hide it. These are the two custom functions. Okay. What I did, see here this message event dot client text. I'm just doing some calculation and assigning, like this is dynamically I'm getting the left and top position of the client X and client Y. We have seen that with respect to browser window it will display the current position where the mouse is clicked. Okay, we are taking that position. In that position, top and left position, we are trying to make the element visible. Okay, display it is for mouse down. Okay, as we seen here. Okay, and mouse up is like hide it. On mouse up, on click is nothing but mouse down, up is nothing but your hide. So based on this I am getting the position, and in that mouse click position I am displaying this information. Okay, for regular intervals that particular action has to be occurred. So the name itself tells us like we'll execute a JavaScript function at evenly spaced times in the future. So set timeout will execute some JavaScript code at one time in the future. Okay, this happens only once and this will happen at regular intervals. So JavaScript provides methods to time activities. So these are the two methods. Okay, so function set timeout the takes two parameters, a string containing valid JavaScript code similar to an event attribute and a non-negative number. The call to this function immediately returns. The number parameter specifies a number of milliseconds. So milliseconds, 1000 milliseconds, 3000 milliseconds, like how much time it has to be delayed. For example, you clicked on a button, but respectively the action will occur immediately, right? No, I want to slow down that action after 3 seconds or after 3 milliseconds I want to display that. In that case you will use the set timeout. After the number of milliseconds JavaScript code is executed. Okay, set interval is nothing but it will execute over a period of time for the particular intervals. So it has certain parameters which you can go through in this slide. In the meanwhile I'll be opening the example. Move the element top and left. Remember, like it should have definitely either absolute or relative. Okay, text. Now let us see the left position to other position. Okay, How did we achieve this particular functionality? We will see. On body, for body we have a method called onload. So immediately after the HTML page is loaded, please call this init text. What is there in this init text? So I'm actually trying to get the style of the particular the text dot style. Where is the text here? This is your span where the jump in the lake text you are seeing, right? For that, this ID. Okay, I'm trying to get the style into this DOM. Okay, so out of that particular style, okay, these are the different styles you have. Out of these styles, I need to pick up two styles, top and left. Okay, I'm picking up left and top. How it is? 100 pixels, 100 pixels. Okay, now what I have to do, I just need the numbers like 100, 100. I don't want px. Okay, for that I will do a pattern matching, regular expressions. You can remember here. I am matching the digit. Okay, d is nothing but the digit. Escape sequences. Okay, within this I am slash d plus means it has some online things. So I'm matching the numbers only. I'm getting the x and y as 100, 100 here. Okay, I'm passing 100 comma 100. Now I'm applying some logic on the, see, move text means where it is there. Immediately after onload only, I'm refreshing the page, right? So on refreshing itself, the text is moving from top to bottom. So immediately after this function is called init text. Okay, this, but within the init text, I'm calling this move text. Okay, so this will be coming here, jump here. This is your definition kind of thing. Okay, so just try to remember all declaration, definition functions. Okay, how do we initialize a function, call a function? Okay, those are important things. So what happened here? X not equal to final x. I have few variables declared here. Okay, final x is 300 by default. Final y is 300 by default. What happened here? X is 100 not equal to final x. Okay, it enters here. And if x greater than final x, I have to do this particular operation. Else if this. Okay, and similarly for y also. As long as the text is not at the destination, call the mover with the current position. So using this particular logic, what happens? I am trying to make some function, recursive function, like it is repeating all the time and it has some delay also. So if it immediately moves from top to bottom, you cannot observe the difference, right? It will be like a blink kind of thing. But I'm showing the movement with a small delay. That is the reason you're able to see from a small movement kind of thing, like a kind of a line like this. Because of this delay only you are able to see that. Move text of x and y according to this particular values. Like again we are adding the pixels and passing here. So based on that we can see the movement from top to bottom with 1 millisecond delay. So this is the delay attribute and this is your method that has to be called out. So set timeout of function or method comma timer, timing, like 1 millisecond or 2 millisecond like that. So this is the certain logic that has been performed to move the element from top to bottom. You are able to see the this is very important property of the JavaScript. Okay. So here I have certain elements called candy, cats, cow, glue. So generally when you try to drag an element, see here, I have to click on the left button of my mouse and I'm dragging it. It is getting selected but it is not moving, right? But the below examples you can see I am able to drag it and place it anywhere on my body of the page. See here. So this is all talks about the events. I'll show you the code here. Elements, you can see the candy, cats, cows we have seen, right? For those things we have a method called as a on mouse down. So on mouse down we are trying to have a custom method called grabber of event. So when you see the particular event in your JS file, we are manipulating like event dot current target. Current target gives the element. Okay, current target gives whatever element you are accessing. It is a body. Okay, so the element dot style dot left. Parcent is, you are well aware, like it will convert your things into integers, and you are taking the compute the difference between where it is and where the mouse click occurs to new position, right? So current position, how you will get it? Event dot client x. Okay, where it is left and top, trying to calculate it. And this is your on add event listener is again a method event handler which helps you to add some events to your page. Document dot add event listener of mouse move mover true. What is there in your mover? So you are actually trying to see this mover is not present in your HTML, if you can see, right? So you are actually adding this event in the JavaScript file itself for the mouse move. Okay, when you move the mouse, what should happen? This particular event has to be triggered true. Okay, please go through the add event listener, event.current target, event.stop propagation, event.prevent default. Okay, these four things you can observe. Prevent default means it will stop the default behavior of the event. For example, if you take an alert, if you do prevent default, it will not throw the alert, which is the default behavior of itself. Stop propagation means it will start propagating, like if you have a nested alerts one, like parent, child and all, it will stop this propagation, like happening of the, like stop propagation of the event and stop any default browser action. Please refer to those functions once again. So based on this logic, you will calculate the difference, and this is your again dropper. So default stop propagation of the, it will unregister the event handlers for mouse up and mouse move. Default actions will be prevented here, and it will take the dropper functionality here. Okay, just refer to the example. I will share the example, and please go through the four methods.